And let's start with a little of what's sometimes called centering. Really, it's just trying to create a conscious shift into noticing awareness, noticing the state of your awareness, noticing what you are aware of. And it's my understanding that in current scientific research on the mind and consciousness, this is often called meta-awareness. So this is just sort of awareness of awareness, the mind's ability to monitor itself, to notice what it's engaged in. So very, very simple in a sense. What are you conscious of right now? What is your mind focused on? So hopefully at least some of your attention is going to the sound of my voice and following my instructions. But you might also find something else is tugging at your attention or your awareness. Some of you are coming from the middle of your work day. So you might sort of feel some of your attention pulled on whatever it was you were just working on, maybe strategizing about, what the next thing to do after class is. Maybe you've had a rough week or a rough month or a rough year, and maybe you're having health issues or other issues that sort of seem to cloud or color your moments. And so maybe you're sensing that now. So whatever it is that is sort of coming to the surface here, my advice is just really to allow yourself to notice it. Notice if there's anything you're trying to push out of your experience or your awareness. And just for now, see if you can invite it all in. Because as I think you've all heard me say in the past, that very often we create more suffering by trying to push things out of our awareness or our experience. Whereas if we just embrace them, we allow, very often we find that either that we didn't need to resist the experience in the first place, that the experience is actually an opportunity, or we find that really it's not as bad as we thought. That really there's a lot of growth or learning that happens by allowing that. So from this space of awareness, we're just going to begin noticing the breath. And the breath is a really powerful tool in yoga, both in terms of our awareness and in terms of our physiology, our body, our health. So just begin to deepen the breath, and we do this in 3 parts: belly, ribs, chest, and then exhale, reverse. Once you've taken a few deep breaths, we'll begin creating the ocean sound at the back of the throat. This is Ujjayi is the name of this. So it's like fogging a mirror with your mouth closed. Okay, and then from there we'll begin moving the body. So let's bring the right leg in. We'll move it around a little bit. We often start in this way, and it is my preferred way to start, just feeling into the hips and the low back with this sort of a stretch. These are areas that we work a lot in yoga: hips, spine. So it's a good place to sort of start, just feeling into how we're feeling, noticing what we're feeling. And very often, targets in these areas are the areas that we need to open up in order to do our peak postures and the postures we're working toward. So today, it's the back of the thigh that we want to say hello to. So we've done this many times before. We're just going to straighten and bend that leg. And just take our time, feeling our way into those muscles. How do they feel? Again, is there pain, stiffness, soreness? So usually just moving to start gets the blood flowing. It sort of helps wake the tissues up, if you will. They may not have been very stimulated or ready to work, and this repetitive movement helps get them there. And then once we feel we've done that, we can do a sustained stretch. So I'm grabbing my toes, but you could still hold here or here. You could also hold the foot. So it just depends on what you're feeling. And we're just allowing that stretch in the back of the right thigh. Left leg could be straight or bent, so don't worry about that. Don't let that interfere with this stretch here. And then usually when you're holding a stretch like this, it's a good idea to feel the stretch and to notice the interaction between your breath and how the stretch is releasing or relaxing the tension there. Good. Let's release that side. We'll bring the left leg in. Now remember, the right leg, which we're not working, do whatever you need to do with that leg. That leg is not the one we're focused on, so you just kind of put it where it's getting in the way the least. Let me put it to you that way. So this side, much more sensitive for me, which is not that surprising because I've had some issues on this side for a long time, and they come and go, but they seem to be there in one form or another. So just more sensitive right now. Okay, from there, and when I say sensitive, it's in the front of the hip for me. It's not the back of the thigh. So again, just feeling the back of the thigh. One very common injury for this part of the body is a torn hamstring, torn tendon up near the ischial tuberosity. So sometimes there's pain in the rear, in the buttocks, kind of right under your butt on the bone there. So if you've had one of those injuries, they can be very difficult to heal completely. So people, sometimes decades after doing that, they still feel pain. Okay, so let's hold. So again, if that is you, if I'm describing an experience you have, you just want to monitor that, notice that. It probably may have been a lack of doing the kind of warm-up that we're doing now that actually caused that tear. You never know. It's no amount of warming up is going to guarantee you don't hurt yourself, but sometimes that's the issue, is the muscle's not ready to stretch that far, and you try and take it someplace where maybe you can go when you're warmed up, but you're just not that warmed up yet. Okay, let's release that leg. Let's do just a tiny bit of core here. I thought we'd do something a little different today. So let's take our hands behind our head and neck, bring our legs in. Let's take a nice deep breath, and as we exhale, we touch the right elbow to the left knee and extend the right leg out parallel with the ground. Inhale back to center, and we exhale to the other side. Okay, pretty simple. These are called yogic bicycles. And the main group we're targeting here are the obliques. Okay, next time, right elbow to the left knee. Let's hold and breathe. So don't hold your breath. Good. Inhale, center. Exhale, try, make contact and hold. Good. Inhale back to center and exhale up to seated. Let's come into tabletop and we'll focus on the spine a bit here, just warming it up. So doing a few cat-cows, but also a few side-to-side movements as well. How much you do of each just kind of depends on what you're feeling. This side-to-side feels more effective for me today. When you're done with that, you tuck the toes, lift the hips, and come into your first down dog. Pedaling back and forth. Just, again, sort of waking up the lower part of your leg there. With an exhale, let's walk our feet to the hands. We come into the ragdoll and just grabbing the opposite elbow, dangling there. You can sway the hips, nod the head, shake the head. And then with arms relaxed, just inhale and gradually roll up to standing. Okay, so let's do a few rounds of sun salutations. Feet touching or parallel. Inhale, arms up, touch palms, lift the heart. Exhale, forward fold. We inhale to the half lift and exhale, step back to the top of a push-up. Let's take a deep breath here. We're going to drop those knees and exhale halfway down. Take another breath. And then exhale the rest of the way. Inhale, head, neck, chest, and upper abdomen lift. Let's keep the pubic bone down, the hips down. Exhale, lower down, press back, tabletop, and then downward facing dog. Good. We inhale to the toes, fill the lungs, and exhale to the front edge of the mat. Inhaling up to the standing back bend, we grab the right wrist with the left hand and exhale to our side stretch, so stretching the right waist and ribs. Inhale center and exhale to half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Inhale back to center and exhale forward fold. Inhale half lift, and again exhale, step back top of your push-up. Okay, let's take a nice deep breath. You choose knees up or down. Exhale halfway down. Inhale, straighten arms and legs for the upward dog. And then exhale, pull both feet in as the hips come up and back for down dog. All right, let's do one more of those. So we inhale to the toes, exhale to the front edge of the mat. Inhaling up to standing back bend. Exhale, side stretch, Ardha Chandrasana. Inhale, center, and exhale, half moon on the other side. Inhale, center, and exhale, sit back into the yogic squat, one of a few actually. This is our kind of high squat, and this is the chair pose. Good. Let's inhale to standing back bend and exhale, releasing into forward fold. Inhale to the half lift and exhale, if you can, jump to the bottom of a push-up. Inhale for up dog, or you could do a cobra here. And if you're able, exhale, do a push-up on your way back to downward facing dog. I think you've heard me say this before, but push-ups are like super good for you. So if you're able to do a push-up every time, by all means, do a full push-up on your way back to down dog every time. If you get too tired or winded, obviously don't. But if that's in your capacity, just because I don't mention it every time, doesn't mean you don't want to do it every time if you're able. Okay, great. So hopefully we're feeling warmed up at this point. I know that I am. Spring feet to touch. We'll inhale right leg up and back to three-legged dog pose. So foot flex, toes, knee, and hip are pointing down. From there, we exhale. That foot between the hands. We'll drop the bottom or the left knee down, the back knee down. And then we raise our torso up and back for Vinyasa. Okay, the low lunge. So in this posture, we want the hips pretty much as far forward and down as they'll go. So sometimes I see people in class, they're doing something like this. This is incorrect. Okay, if I can bring my hips further forward, then I'm not really in the posture. So this is pretty much as far as I can go. Pad this knee if it needs it, the left knee, okay? So hips forward and down, the heel is directly under my knee. Hopefully you can see, basically I want my shin bone straight up and down, the knees over the heel. And the arms are up and back. That actually helps the stretch. On the left side, you can try it. Try doing that. You'll feel there's not quite as much stretch as if you bring your arms up and back into it. So this is very much like crescent lunge, except just with the knee down, essentially. Good, let's exhale those hands down. We'll inhale the leg up and back and exhale to the bottom of our push-up and make our way back to down dog. Okay, side two, feet touch. Inhale, left leg up and back. Three-legged dog pose. So again, hip is down, leg is straight and lifted, toes, knee, and hip pointing down. Exhale, lunge, and then inhale to low lunge, Vinyasa. You should feel stretch right here. That's kind of the main thing that happens in the low lunge. Good. Exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale that leg up and back, or sorry, exhale, bottom's hands down, then exhale, bottom of the push-up, inhale, up dog, and exhale, back to down dog. Okay, so today we're doing a little bit of core work to work up toward an arm balance, which is a very fundamental arm balance. So the first core work we'll look at is a forearm plank. So we inhale top of our push-up, and then we're just going to exhale to our forearms like so. Now this is a great exercise for strengthening your core. I want you to notice a few things. My elbows are under my shoulders, so I'm not over here, not back here, okay? Another thing I want you to notice, my ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels are essentially in a straight line. So my butt is not way up here, okay? I'm also not hanging like this. If this is too much, drop your knees, but see if you can still keep everything else in line. You will build strength over time, okay? So we're working up toward the arm balance. If that is too much for you today, and where we go is too much, repeat this, because this is a great way to strengthen One other thing I want to mention here is my shoulders are active, so I'm not doing this. Okay, hopefully you can see the difference. Okay, you try it yourself. Try and relax, see how that feels, and then engage. So if you're not used to doing that, your shoulder might fatigue very quickly. That's okay. That's the point. That's how we strengthen the muscles, by fatiguing them. So we're not trying to avoid that. Okay, in fact, we want to encourage that because that's going to build that strength. Okay, let's come back to our down dog. So you can vinyasa or go straight back. And then we'll inhale to the toes. Exhale, front edge of the mat. Let's inhale to standing back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And then exhale, bottom of the push-up. As you all know, I often will skip the push-ups. Not because they're not good for you, but because I get too winded when I teach. So teaching yoga is not the same thing as doing yoga. All right, everybody. Moving right along. Let's bring our feet to touch here. And we will inhale, right leg up and back. And we'll exhale to this one, which is called a lizard. Okay, so lizard is sort of like a ultra low lunge. So it's lower than what we would call maybe a low lunge, like on Vinyasa. So we're coming down inside of that leg. Once again, you'll see the heel and the knee basically lined up. Hips can't go any further forward or down. And then if you can't get to your elbows, it's fine. Use a block or blocks. And if this is easy, then you can go even further by bringing your elbows further forward, so you can really get into that tension that lives between the torso and the thigh. That's what you're feeling, wherever you're feeling it. I'm feeling it in my adductors. And so what that means is there's a fair amount of tension that lives between my torso and my thigh that shows up in my adductors here. Okay, let's return those hands to the ground and we'll do a little flow with our low lunge. Not this one, not the lizard, but with the Vinyasa. So inhale that leg up and back. Exhale, lunge, drop the knee, and then inhale to low lunge. Good, exhale the hands down, and then inhale the leg up and back to three-legged dog. So it's just a simple flow. We'll do it a few times. Inhale up. Feel the stretch in the front of the left hip. Exhale those hands down. Inhale the leg up and back. Okay, exhale. And then inhale. Good. Now this time, exhale, hands down. Rock the hips back over the left knee and straighten out the right leg. Notice the foot is flexed, the toes and knee are pointing up. This leg is straight, hips over the knee. And then I fold forward and down. It's called half triangle. And the stretch is here. Remember from the beginning of class, so this is the second time we're stretching this area. Now, if you're really, really open in this direction, then you might take a full split, okay? And that'll give you a really intense stretch for the hamstrings, but only if you need it. And if you're doing the full split, fold forward, because we want to emphasize this muscle back here, okay? Okay, so we inhale to our Vinyasa. Exhale the hands down. Inhale the leg up and back, and exhale bottom of the push-up. And we make our way to down dog. Okay, side two. So feet touch. Inhale, left leg up and back. And then exhale to lizard. Okay, this kind of really low lunge. Now, this is a static stretch. So you want to find the stretch, and then you can do something like close your eyes and try and slow your breathing as you focus on that sensation and try and feel how the breathing actually relaxes the tension there. Okay, let's return hands to the ground, and we're going to inhale the leg up and back. We exhale and lunge, and we inhale to Anjaneyasana. Feel the stretch at the front of the right hip. And then exhale, hands down. We inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. Inhale to Anjaneyasana. Good. Exhale the hands down. Inhale, leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. And then exhale to half triangle, Ardha Trikonasana. Okay. All right, let's inhale back to the front of the mat. Low lunge. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, leg up and back, three-legged dog. And exhale, bottom of the push-up. Making our way to down dog. Okay, so again, we're working on our shoulder strength and stability today. And the first exercise is this one, which we already looked at. Holding this, shoulders engaged. Okay. So now if this feels like you've got that, if not, just keep working on this. Again, you can drop your knees if you need to. But holding that, shoulders engaged. The next step is walk your feet in as much as possible. So it's like I'm trying to get my hips over my shoulders. Okay, my shoulders are active. I am pressing the ground away from me quite actively, okay? I know I've got a lot of hair and it might look like my head's on the ground. It is not. I am not putting my head on the ground, okay? So this is not a headstand of any sort. Okay, from there you can press back into a down dog or vinyasa back. Again, if you're doing these right, they're quite intense. Like I feel it in my shoulders. I feel the work of that, even though I do this a lot. Okay, so it's meant to do that. Okay, if I'm doing it properly. Okay, inhale toes, exhale front edge of the mat. We inhale up to standing back bend, and we exhale forward fold. Inhale half lift, and exhale bottom of the push-up, making your way to down dog. Okay, let's go ahead and bring our feet to touch. We'll inhale right leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. Drop that left knee. And then similar to lizard, and we've done this, we do this quite a lot in this class, so most of you have probably done this with me at some point or another. We're going to take this right leg over our shoulder like we're putting on a backpack. Then I look up and I lift that leg as high as I can, straightening the leg as much as possible. Now you can say my leg doesn't go straight. It doesn't matter. I still get a stretch and I still strengthen parts of my body just by making the effort. Okay, even if the leg doesn't lift, just trying to do that, you're creating new neural pathways. Okay? Okay, let's inhale that leg up and back. We'll exhale and lunge. Inhale to a low lunge, and then exhale, half triangle, right? So we're going to flow those together. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, hands down. Inhale the leg up and back. Good, let's just repeat that. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, Ardha Trikonasana. Inhale, Vinyasa. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, leg up and back. Good, let's do it one more time. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hips back. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, leg up and back. Good, now let's add a high lunge. So exhale, lunge. And then inhale to crescent lunge, Ashta Chandrasana. Okay, so we do this one a lot also. Front foot and knee straight ahead, right thigh approaching parallel with the ground. All right, left hip forward, right hip back, left leg straight with the heel pressing toward the ground, arms straight up and back. Good, take a deep breath, exhale, bottom of the push-up. Make your way to the downward dog. Okay, side two. Feet touch. We inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. Okay, and then take that leg. So don't skip this part. Sometimes people forget that we've got this first. Take that leg, put it over the shoulder, and then lift the heel as high as it will lift. It may not lift very high. That's okay. May not lift at all. That's okay. Just try. Okay. Let's inhale that leg up and back. Three-legged dog. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Exhale, half triangle. So hips back. Inhale, hips forward and arms up. Exhale, hands to the ground. Inhale, left leg up and back. Three-legged dog. Good, again. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half triangle. Inhale, low lunge. And exhale, hands down. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, lunge that leg. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half triangle. Inhale, low lunge. And exhale, hands down. Good. Inhale the leg up and back. And then this time, exhale, lunge, and inhale to a high lunge, Ashta Chandrasana. Now, I don't know about you, but because we did all that stretching first, today my high lunge is much deeper than it is when we come into it much more quickly because my hip flexors are all open. So I can come into it in a much deeper and more intense way. Good. Exhale. Bottom of the push-up, making your way back to the downward facing dog. Okay. Okay. So let's again explore our core and shoulder strength and stability. We inhale, top of our push-up. Exhale, forearm plank. That's what this is called, a forearm plank. Okay. One of my teachers calls this crocodile. There's two kind, a relaxing kind and an active one. This is the active one. Now again, from here to take it one step further, this is called a dolphin plank. Okay, so my lower body is essentially in a down dog. My upper body is in a forearm plank. Okay, and then if I'm ready to take it to the next step, I bend my knees. Keep my elbows on the ground. So sometimes when I teach this in person, I see people doing this. Don't do that. Keep your elbows on the ground. Okay, shoulder width. Take your knees, either insert them into your armpits, the back of your arms, or if you have really long thigh bones, femurs, you can hug the side of your arms. Okay, you could hug your biceps or deltoid with the inside of your knees. Okay, whatever you decide to do, engage those shoulders. Bring your face just an inch from the ground, so really close to the ground, not touching though. And then just try lifting one set of toes at a time and just see how that feels. And then if you can, just lift both sets. Bring the big toes to touch. And again, your face is not touching the ground, okay? Now, I call that a baby bakasana, baby crow pose. And the reason that's important is because all the principles for arm balancing are there. It's easier for a few reasons. One, forearms are a greater surface area than palms. So anytime you have a greater surface area, it's easier to balance, okay? So if I lay on the ground, I'm never going to lose my balance, right? Because there's a huge surface area in contact with the ground. If I balance on one foot or one finger, then my chances of losing my balance, increase exponentially, right? So keep that in mind. So if balance is an issue, this should be a little easier. The other thing that's easier is you're so close to the ground that for most people, fear of face planting almost disappears. And for a lot of people, the arm balance it is just fear. It's just psychological. Really, they can do it. They're strong enough. They have the balance. They're just afraid. Okay? So that's a good way of building up your confidence and strength. And again, thinking about the right things of keeping the shoulders engaged, right? So you're like pushing the ground away. Okay, good work. From there, let's return to our downward dog. And from there, we'll inhale the toes, exhale front edge of the mat. Inhale up to our standing back bend. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and we exhale, bottom of the push-up, making our way to the downward dog. All right, so let's see if we can put everything together here. We're gonna bring our feet to touch. Inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. We inhale to a low lunge. Exhale to a half triangle. Inhale to a low lunge. Exhale the hands down. Inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, lunge, and then inhale, high lunge, right? Good. Let's repeat that. Exhale, hands down. Inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, lunge, drop the knee. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale. Remember, each of these positions is a stretch, so you should be feeling that. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, high lunge. And one more time. Exhale, hands down. This is the one position that isn't a stretch, three-legged dog. Good. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, this is a stretch for the front of your hip. Exhale, hips back. This is a stretch for the back of your thigh. Inhale, this is a stretch for the front of your hip. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. And then inhale, high lunge. This is a stretch for the front of your hip, and it also strengthens the front of your thigh. It's also a back bend, okay? Let's keep the arms where they are. And we exhale to a warrior three. So left leg parallel with the ground, reaching the heel away from the fingertips and the crown of the head. Left hip down, level with the right. Arms, torso, and leg parallel. Keep the arms framing the ears. Good. Exhale, bottom of the push-up. So we've really worked those legs, and it may be very difficult to balance. That's good. That's the best time to practice balance, when your legs are actually fatigued. Okay, side two, feet touch. Inhale, left leg up and back. Good. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, hips back. Half triangle. Inhale, low lunge. Good. Exhale, hands down. Inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, lunge, and inhale, high lunge. Feel the stretch. Feel the work in the legs. Good. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, low lunge. Stretch the front of your right hip. Exhale, stretch the back of your left thigh. Inhale, right hip stretches. Exhale, hands down. Inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Good. Whole thing one more time. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half triangle. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, leg up and back. Exhale, lunge, and inhale, high lunge. Good. Try and keep the arms right where they are. And exhale, warrior three, Virabhadrasana 3. Good. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way to the downward dog. Okay. So from here, let's exhale to a squat. Come on down. Let's take a look at crow pose. So if you've attended some of the other classes, but you've never done this one, I often give you crow pose as an option. So you may be wondering, well, when do we learn this crow pose? Here. This is where I've sort of built up to it. This is the kind of most basic way of getting into crow pose. So if you are working on your crow pose and you'd like to work on it more, you know I post these videos online. You may want to review this class, and you may want to take portions of it and integrate that into your daily practice or regular practice, because some of the steps here are really going to create the foundations for you to do the crow pose, okay? And it's a really good idea that you be able to do that posture, generally speaking, okay? So here we are. We're going to break it down. The first thing I want to look at and be aware of is I want my arms at a right angle, 90-degree angle. So one of the things I see students doing all the time looks like that. They're trying to do it with their arms straight. It's possible, it's just harder. So if you're new, if you're finding it difficult, please be very mindful. Keep your arms bent. That creates a shelf to put your weight on, right? So you're not working as hard. And you're also not as high up, okay? So these are called chaturanga arms, where the elbow, the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder are basically stacked. So, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but we just don't want our elbows out like that, okay? We're stacking everything. The hands, that means the hands are going to be about shoulder distance, okay? Now from here, I place my hands on the ground. Now this is where people start straightening their arms. So I don't want you to do that. I want you to lift your butt and then place your hands on the ground. Look at my arms. Do you see how they're bent? Okay, so I haven't done that. That's what many people do. So we're going to keep those arms bent. Look at how high my butt is. Do you see how my butt is almost over my wrists directly? That's very key because most of my weight is in my butt. And if I want to balance and most of my weight is back here, guess what? I'm going to get pulled back, okay? So hips up and then gaze up, because in yoga we say you move in the direction you look in, and we want to go up, not down. Now here's the key point. I don't need to hop or jump. I simply lift one leg, one set of toes, okay? And then the other. Now, what you're looking for here is if you lift and then your arm collapses like that, then you may have to work up your shoulder and arm strength. So again, forearm plank, baby crow, doing push-ups. This is a good way to build this strength. But if the arm does not collapse when you lift the leg, chances are you have the strength. Okay, chances are you're strong enough. Then it's just balance and again confidence, trying to lift both legs at the same time. Okay, now once you can do it, even just for a few seconds, that means you can do it. And then all you do is with practice, get to where you can hold it longer and longer until it becomes indefinite. I've never timed myself, but I basically can hold that posture as long as I want to. At a certain point, you know, rather than falling out of it, I think I would just fatigue and, you know, have to come out of it. So that's crow pose. That's a foundation for many, many important postures, okay? Okay, so from there, we're going to look at one other variation of that posture. It just changes one thing, you might say, and that's called Ekapada 2, second variation. So if you don't have crow, you're still working on crow pose. If crow pose, you've got that down, here's what you do. Come into this position, and then remember when we took this leg and we put it over the right shoulder, we're going to do that again. So I take a lunge and I take this leg over my shoulder. Then I'm going to turn just so you can see me here. Okay, so I'm here, I take this leg, and then I'm going to bring this shin into crow pose, right? Exactly the same as crow pose. Okay, I drop my hips down, I look forward. Now, why am I dropping my hips this time? Because this leg is going in front as a counterbalance, okay? So I'm looking up, and then again, I just try and lift my feet, both feet at the same time. One leg goes front, one leg is sort of squatting behind me, and that's called one-legged crow pose, okay? And then, of course, it's asymmetrical, so we want to do the other side as well. Looks like that. Okay? So lots to work on, right? Flexibility, strength, balance. That's why these arm balances are challenging. It's because it combines several things. Most of us have poor core strength, upper body strength, and balance. And arm balances require all of that, which is why they're so good for us. Because if we can build up the strength to do them, and then we do them on a regular basis, we're addressing all of those things that really, for most modern people like us, are places where we're really lacking. Okay, good work, everybody. Let's go ahead and let's do a couple of back bends, or at least one back bend. So we'll come onto our belly and just relax for a moment. Right hand over the left. And then very simply, we'll just bring our arms out like wings, and then inhale, lift everything that we can lift off the ground. Now, if you want to take it a step further, you can bend those feet, grab them, and then kick back for a deeper back bend. Good. Exhale, come on down. Left hand over the right hand. Let's press back to a child pose. Inhale, arms out in front. And then exhale, walk your hands to the left until you feel a stretch in your right waist and ribs. Good. Inhale, we come back through center. And exhale to the other side. Good. Inhale, let's come on back to center. Take a breath. And then inhale, sitting up, cross those ankles. Exhale, legs out in front of you. Inhale, arms out in front. And then exhale, gradually back onto your back. Let's bring those legs in, give them a squeeze. Maybe make some circles. And then let's take those arms out to the side. We're going to drop both knees to the left as we look to the right. Let the breathing be natural now. Good. We'll inhale those knees through center. We exhale them off to the other side. Good. Inhale, knees back to center. Let's grab the soles of the feet for happy baby. So again, the main objective with this posture when I teach it at this stage of the practice is just to, it's sort of the opposite of warming up. It's sort of like feeling, places that may have tension in the body or feel kind of weird. That may have resulted from the practice even, or maybe you started with them. But what we're trying to do now is help the body to relax most deeply in Shavasana. So we just try and, work the kinks out, if you will, and so that we can relax more deeply. We're not working kinks out so we can do the practice anymore, right? So take your time with that. But when you feel that you've sort of exhausted what you can do there, and you'll feel it, after a couple of, 5 or 6 repetitions of something, you kind of get the sense that it's not releasing more and more forever. So when you get to that point, unwind onto your back, feet apart, palms up, head centered, chin tucked in slightly, eyes closed. And as always, if you have your phone or timers, go ahead and set that for 6 minutes is what I recommend. That's 10% of the class. And then you're just going to try and, this is called corpse pose or dead person's pose. It's not meant to be morbid. It's really kind of almost like an instruction. So play dead for 6 minutes. That's the idea. And what the tradition teaches us is if you do that properly in the right way, you'll come back much more refreshed and restored than you would have. So if any of you have, like, after the class felt really tired or exhausted, or that may be why you may not be taking enough rest between the class and then getting back to your day. Okay, so I highly recommend it.